Hi guys, Friday, waxing on, and I promised you a box set. Today we're wrapping up the first real week of the holiday season, first week of December, and we're going to look at a box set from an artist we talked about back in probably the first few months of our show, and that's Eric Clapton. Now when I did the Eric Clapton program, I would have shown you the box set he had called Crossroads, and this box set covered his career from the very early days with John Mayall and the Blues Breakers and Yardbirds right up to his solo work. So it was like a 30-year span of work it was portraying. The album I have for you today, or the box set I have for you today, is called Eric Clapton Crossroads 2. Now, very different from the first one. Firstly, let's take a look at this 4 CD set. Not in the jackets like the Elvis Costello were, but again, you've got all those bonuses that come with hard copies. We got photos, we've got stories. And again, if you bought books like these at a concert, you're probably paying $30-40 for them now, just to get a concert booklet, and would not have the information we have in here, as well as information about the songs. And there's nothing better when you're listening to these tunes to be able to go through that. Look at the pictures, read the data, look at who played, where they recorded, what songs, who were the writers. There's all kinds of great things that really make the box sets or make the old LPs special, because you can actually read all this while you're listening to the performance. This one made up of live performances from about 74 to 78. There are a couple of studio outtakes they've put in here, but the majority of the 4 CD set is all live performances. And we've talked about that show after show, how much I enjoy live performances, because you get what the artist wants you to hear, what he wanted to portray, not necessarily what an individual producer might have wanted him to sound like. And I come back to, and I hate to do this again, Bob James. When he started taking over producing some albums, and it might not have been Bob James, it could have been, a lot of times it was Columbia, that's who he was producing for, wanted a certain sound, wanted to appeal to a certain audience, and he led the band that direction. May not have been what the band did best. So when they get out live, I love to hear them when they actually play the way they want to play. And this, a lot of very blues oriented, a lot of extended solos, things that maybe weren't selling on the albums. I mean, extended solos up until probably the late 60s. I mean, guitar solos would last a few bars. I don't even know if you get a full chorus in there. They were actually very short. And it wasn't until Hendrix and Clapton came along that all of a sudden these guitar solos started to expand and become a vital part of the songs. So they really changed the face of music that way. Anyways, let's get some idea what we have on here. Walking down we got first recorded at a studio. This is the first studio outtake, is a song called Walking Down the Road. First concert, Long Beach Arena. We've got Have You Ever Loved a Woman, Willie and the Hand Jive, I Can't Find My Way Home, Driftin' Blues, Ramblin' on My Mind, Presence of the Lord, and then 2 from Hammersmith Odeon in London. Another version of Ramblin' on My Mind, Have You Ever Loved a Woman, Hendrix's Little Wing, Sky is Crying, and again we've added Have You Ever Loved a Woman and Ramblin' on My Mind. Now, great thing about these, and this was something that surprised me the first time I started going to concerts. You'd listen to the album, you'd listen to the solo, and when I went to the concert, I expected to hear the exact same solo I'd heard. And it just shocked me that I got there and these guys were playing something totally different. Excuse me. I didn't really grasp the idea at that time that they were improvising everything. And that night they may have felt a certain way and played a solo that reflected that. And I wasn't going to hear the exact same solo. I may hear quotes from that solo, but I wasn't going to hear the exact same thing that was on the record. And that's why when you get this and you've got 2 or 3 versions of the same song, they can be substantially different. Disc number 2, recorded Providence Civic Center, Layla and Further On Up the Road. Nassau Coliseum, we got I Shot the Sheriff and Badge. So we're going from the Cream era into some solo work of Clapton's. Driftin' Blues and Eyesight to the Blind, Why Does Love Got to Be So Sad? Compact 3, back to the Hammersmith Odeon. Tell the Truth, Knocking on Heaven's Door, the Bob Dylan tune. Stormy Monday, Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. So we're back in California. Lay Down Sally, The Core, We're All the Way, Cocaine, Going Down Slow, Rambling on My Mind, and Mean Old Frisco. And Compact Disc 4, Victoria Hall, Loving You Is Sweeter Than Ever, Worried Life Blues, the Apollo Theater, we've got Tulsa Time, Victoria Hall, Early in the Morning, Wonderful Tonight, a great Clapton tune. He doesn't pen a lot of the ones on here, but that was just an excellent song of his. Kind-Hearted Woman, we got Double Trouble, Crossroads. Now, when I see Crossroads, and there was another one up there, maybe Worried Life Blues, written by Robert Johnson. And this was a guy that really had an impact on Clapton. And we're going to look at a box set of his probably in the next week or so. He was an early blues player in United States. I think the albums I have, he's maybe just playing solo, him and guitar. But he's a guy that really drove the blues and really had a big impact on what Clapton did later on. Crossroads being one of his big tunes. To Make Somebody Happy, Crying, and Water on the Ground. Lots of material here. Live performance, studio outtakes, a great booklet. And again, we're looking at Clapton from 74 to 78. So it's all pretty consistent in the recording and in the material we're covering. Not so much as like we had with Crossroads 1, where it was covering a 30-year span. We've narrowed it down and really give a picture of what people were getting to see in the early to mid-70s when Clapton was touring. Again, it's called Eric Clapton, Crossroads 2. Great box set. Yeah, you're going to find it online. It's not the same as holding it in your hand. Let me tell you, it's not the same as reading that book while you're listening to it. If you're older like me, you know what I'm talking about. If you're from the digital age, now this may seem a little unusual. May seem a little antiquated, a little bit of a throwback to the old days. Well, it is. But to me, this is the way to listen to music. And this is a great keepsake to have to go along with the music as well. Okay, Eric Clapton. That's it for Friday. We'll see you on Monday. Everybody have a great weekend. Take care. Thanks for stopping by.